do you feel when you hear the word Hollywood or mob gangsters and Italian mafia? We see them in movies like Godfather. We see them in series like Ray Donovan lately. And we just wonder, is everything true, or they just show us what we want to see? How interested we become in their lives, and how these people really live their lives, especially when they are gang members. Are they really that evil? Or they have a different life? Does everything that we see and read about in papers or we see on screens are true? Or there is so much more behind it that either is not said to us or they are silenced? Today, I have an amazing guest that I'm honored to have with me, and he is the author of The Accidental Gangster. This book, I got it the day before yesterday, and I don't know, guys, if you know, I'm a dork. It takes only for me like a day to read, but I kept on reading again and again. It took me 2 days. I couldn't get enough. And the thing is that Ori Spado, who is the author of this wonderful, amazing book that I read not as an author, but as somebody who just touched my soul when I talked to him, he's not only that, he's so much more than that. From an Italian family, where they called that his grandfather and great-grandfather were Italian mafia mob members, where he went in, became a part of the mafia, and they call him the fixer of Hollywood. And from prison and everything that they have been through, he rises back again. But this time, he rises as an answer for redemption, courage, strong will, or he's just a talented man who's writing a book. We're gonna know all about this more with Ori. Hi, Ori. Sorry, I'm so excited to have you.
Yeah, Nataly, I love your opening. You are an extremely awesome person. I must say that. You were blessed with a unique ability, and that comes right through. You're very sincere, honest, and that's why we became friends.
It's an honor for me, Ori. I swear to God, you give me goosebumps. And I believe that nothing happens by accident. Everything happens for a reason. And I'm honored for this friendship. And I'm honored to have someone like you as a friend in my life who is advocate for good. And after having so much in his life, I mean, I'm looking, guys, I want to share this with all of you, okay? I want to share this. I mean, this person that you're seeing, that he's friends with me, and not only you have to read the book, you should see that he's honorable even in his book. And we cannot see that. We just see honor in people who are religious. We try to find there. We try to find in people who are doing goodness, charitable things. But people who are calling these guys Italian mafia, they have respect to others and they help. And this person who is like an author today that the whole world is talking about him, Ori Spado, he hasn't only been friends with so many people that we know and we read about, like, I mean, it really scared me. I mean, I was like saying Jimmy Cacci, Joey Dial, Tony Gambino, Callis Gambino, Mayor Lersky, Carlos Marcello, I don't know if I'm saying right, the pronunciation, Frank Russo, and it's very impressive. Sony like Francesco is the Colombo crime family boss, and John Gotti, the boss of Gambino crime family. And this person who is writing this book, Ori, he is not only was surrounded and lived his life with Italian mafia members, but also with celebrities that we just see them on stage and we cannot even approach them, like Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Vic Damon. Oh my God, Ori! Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'm not going to go to the filmmakers now, the MGM and Mayor Lansky, Ralph Sapp. I'm going. And John Connolly, who writes in Vanity Fair, and Frank Riolo, who is chief officer of in board for, I don't know, in Vegas, right? And you, oh, and he has his connections with FBI, and I don't know. I mean, this person has it all. Why? Let's ask him. Ori, why do you have it all?
Why? You know, I asked myself that question, and I think the answer probably is because I try to treat everybody equally. I can talk to the President of the United States just as well as I'll talk to a homeless person on the street and give them both the respect that they deserve. It's just something that's within me. On the other hand, there is another side, as the judge said when he sentenced me. Mr. Spado, he said, when I sentence somebody like you, I feel like I'm sentencing two different people. On one hand, I got a guy who takes care of his family, his friends, everybody loves him. He does a million things for him. He said, but on the other hand, I have a man that's got the power to dispatch people anywhere in the world to do whatever he requests. And then he sentenced me.
And how do you feel? I mean, if you go back in time, what do you think that the most vulnerable part of Ori Spado gave him the decision to rise and to be a part of Italian mafia, and with Sonny, your relationship and everything? And how do you feel when you go back in time? What was the main reason that make you want to be a part of this risky life? Was it by accident, or the power, the money, or you just went with the flow and one day you just became like the fixer of Hollywood without even knowing it? What was it?
Yeah, that there was the fixture of Hollywood. That just came about because of my ability to talk. And I remember with Dino De Laurentiis and Ross Surfrey, they were filming a movie here in Los Angeles. And an actor was given a problem, which happens often with actors and directors on a set. And the actor, they always think they know more than a director, and then there's a little conflict, and that puts the picture behind on budget. It could cost more money, and so because they were friendly, so they told me about the problem. I said I can handle that there. So I went on the set and I sat down with the actor and the director, and I handled it in my nice, easy way. And they both understood. The actor understood, and the movie went on, and it was a very big success too. And just from there, word got around to other executives in Hollywood, the studios, agencies, lawyers, so forth, and so that's how that happened.
I mean, when I was reading the book and I couldn't stop, and I mean, me, I don't usually, as an author, I mean, I just go to books that are related to my soul, but I never believed that I could just be so much interested in a book like this. And I was trying to read between the lines. I'm like, okay, he is the fixer of Hollywood. So I can connect you somehow with Ray Donovan, because I watched the series. Like, he goes there, he breaks, he kills people, and he does things for celebrities, for people in Hollywood. And in the end, he's the one in trouble. And I was just trying to find, where did Ori write this thing? There was nothing in the whole book. I was like, like, seriously, Ori, give me something. Give me something. I mean, is it the respect to them which made you not to write about the kind of problems, or the fear in you to avoid more problems, or is it something else that make you avoid not writing details about how you fix things in Hollywood? You just, it's, it's between the lines, but you cannot find it.
Well, I'm a person, I don't believe that I should talk bad about other people. I don't think that I should be mentioning everybody's names and so forth. And I remember my dear friend Nick Pileggi, who wrote Goodfellas and Casino and other movies.
I love that movie, Casino. Oh my God, I love it.
And Nick was the first one, along with Jack Gilardi, that read my manuscript. And Nick called me up. Nick's got a home in New York. He's got a home here. I just spoke to him this morning. And he called me up. He said, Ori, you got a great book here. He said, you did a great job. He said, but Ori, he said, you don't say nothing bad about anybody. He said,
Exactly.
that's unusual. I said, Nick, I said, A, number one, I was never an informant. B, number two, those people were my friends. And they still are my friends. And I don't have anything bad to say about them. I said, what the public thinks is one thing. But, I was on the phone with a lady this morning, that sort of likes me. And she asked me about a particular individual that I happen to know. And he's another gangster out here in Hollywood. And I said, yes, I know him. She said, what do you think? I said, he's a good guy. Why do you ask? And she said, well, she says, he lived in my neighborhood. He was just doing things for me and my daughter, he said. Never wanted nothing in return or anything. I said, well, that's how we people are. We always want to help other people. We're always for the underdog. Everybody needs some help someplace. And if people ask me for their help, they're going to get it. And, asking for people for help is not an easy thing. But I learned that long ago. If I had a problem with something, I tell people, I need your help. If you're in the sales business, best way to get to meet somebody is say, I need your help. And people will help you. But anyways, no, I don't have anything bad to say. Although there might be some bad things about some people that I don't go along with, but I'm not the person to judge. I've done countless of interviews, probably over 100 of them by this time. And I never done an interview with an informant. I've been asked, and there's a block between me and asking, going on a show like that with somebody who was an informant. And, like yourself, I only read books that I enjoy. I read Daniel Silva, Michael Connolly. I read countless of authors. I don't read gangster books.
You lived it. How will you read about it?
I got a lot of them here. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, in today's world, the world has changed.
How do you mean change?
Most of the books that are written by informants is a bunch of lies. I already know it is because they've been trained to lie. They lie on a witness stand. They lie at everything else. That's just their nature. So I know the book's going to be a lie. The first thing I ever do when I buy any book at all, I'm in a bookstore and I want to read a book about somebody. It's a true story. First thing I look for is the index. My book has an index because I'll look at names that they want to talk about in the book. If they don't have an index in the book, I feel it's going to be a crappy book.
I'm looking forward to hear your opinion about my book, Masks. Honestly, I mean, I don't know. I think that when I connected with you and I was reading the book, it wasn't as I expected because I saw in some ways the kindness, as you said, and even the respect to women. Like you said, like mafia members, they don't approach a woman who belongs to someone else. I'm like, they kill people and they respect that. I mean, how does it make sense? And it didn't it didn't make any sense to me. And then like the FBI members, they let him wear a wire and then he recorded an Oprah Winfrey show. Like, oh my God. I mean, and still people like,
I didn't know wire. It was a tape recorder. They tried to get me to be an informant. What I did was I taped the FBI.
why didn't you accept it? Wouldn't it have been easier for you to accept it? Your
No, I
life?
wasn't an informant. They were trying to get me to be an informant. And they left the tape recorder with me. It was one Friday. I needed some money. So I came up with the idea because every time the FBI were trying to talk to me, they were only wanting to talk about Italian gangsters. So I taped the Oprah Winfrey show. I think it was Oprah Winfrey. I taped her show.
Mhm.
At 5 o'clock on a Friday, I called the FBI agent. I said, I got a tape. I got this guy, I got that guy. He said, oh, I'll come and get it. I said, oh, hold up. I said, you got to pay me for it. What do you mean? I said, I want $5,000. He said, $5,000. He said, where am I going to get banks are closed? I said, you're the FBI. You figure it out. He called me back and he had me meeting him at a baseball card. I got there. I had the Oprah Winfrey recording. And he said to me, I had the recording. I said, give me the money.
You know, I just
And he gives me the money. I give him the tape and I leave. By the time I walked into my apartment, my phone was ringing. He said, what the hell is this? This sounds like a TV show. I said, what do you want from me? I don't know how to use that equipment. I had 12 tapes on the FBI. That was a very fatal mistake in my life. I went on record with a boss because Sonny Franchese was in prison at the time. And Jimmy Cossie said, oh, you're going to get in trouble. I had Jimmy go back to Buffalo, play the tapes for Joe Todaro, who was the boss of Buffalo. And he owned a big pizza. He's just still in business. Pizza place. They called me. They were laughing. They wanted me to continue doing it. That way I would always know what the FBI were doing. But I was getting in too much trouble. It was too much trouble. And so I had a meeting with them. I brought the lawyer. The lawyer said, Mr. Spado's not going to be an informant. Ended it. But the FBI agent got demoted off the organized crime task force with the FBI. Now you got to remember, that's an elite task force for a special agent in the FBI to get on. And he got demoted from that there because of me, because of what I did. And they put him on a fugitive squad. Today, he's the head of the fugitive squad. And he's the guy that gets credit for capturing Whitey Bulger. So I think he owes me a favor, huh?
Did
But
you use that favor or not yet?
uh,
And do you, when we talked together and I read the book and we connected, I feel that you have this amazing connection with Jimmy Cacci and his very famous Italian mafia, I mean, member. And we see him in movies and also like Sonny and Sonny Francis, like, am I saying it right? Frances. And
well,
he's Colombo crime family member. But you were like, at some point, had a very interesting sentence in your book when you talked about his son Johnny, that he became like informant and he just used a wire and with the FBI against his own father and against you, and you just put a question mark like, I don't know if he just thinks that he was better than us, meaning you and Sonny and the old other Italian mafia gang members. So you didn't even um, try to judge him. Why do you think that these things happen? Is it out of fear or it's related to character?
I mean, I have no fear of Johnny or anybody. I don't fear no man. I don't fear anything.
Where does but these people who are becoming informants against the Italian mafia mobs, do you think they fear or they just want something better?
When they once they become a government informant, they fall under the jurisdiction of being law enforcement.
Hmm.
And most of them go on the witness protection program, which John was on for several years, and then he came out of it. A lot of them have come out of the witness protection program and are, living their lives in the open today uh, because things have changed so much and nobody's doing anything to them. They got nothing to fear. And there's sometimes I never condone it because we live a life. I feel what happens to me is my responsibility. I caused it, not you, not somebody else. Okay, it was me, whatever it was. And so I can't blame nobody else, and I'm not going to talk about anybody else. It's like I got arrested, I kept my mouth shut, I did my time. I feel that's the way everybody should do it. Do I feel the laws in this country are legal and just? No, I do not. We have some of the worst laws in the world. The United States is 5%, 5% of the world's population, but yet we house 25% of the world's inmates. Figure that one out. Why? Because in the United States, prisons is big money. Not to you, not to me, but it is to a certain group of people who have money. So there are a lot of laws that are unjust, unfair, and long prison sentences. And there's a lot of guys in jail who should not be in jail. Yes, we do have some people in prison who should be there. You got murderers, you got mass murderers, you got pedophiles. Pedophiles get the least amount of time of anybody. Why is that? Why does a guy who goes out after little boys and little girls gets less prison time than some guy who's dealing marijuana? You understand the unjustness in the laws of this country?
When
Yeah.
we're talking about this unfair things that is happening in prisons, what is Ori's first emotion when you just went to prison and the doors were closed and you sat there? What was the first thing that you felt inside, either negative or positive? Can you just give me an explanation? I mean, I couldn't find it in words in the book. I felt I should talk and see how you say it with your voice. You know what I mean? I mean, as much as you write it, I just want to ask you, what was the first thing that you felt? Was it here or here?
I think if you read anything in the book, then you understand that I believe in the power of positive attitude and what the mind can conceive and believe you need to achieve. And, everything that we do in life begins in our head. Everything here, it's a mindset. I knew or had the feeling that a day would come that I would be arrested. You don't know when, you never expect it. It's not going to come at a time that you want it to come. Nobody ever wants it to come, but it comes.
That how come you go on doing what you're doing if you know that you're going to be arrested?
Well, when I first got arrested, I laughed because when they showed me the paper, they only had one charge on there. I said, I'll be out by dinner time. Yeah, I was 62 months later.
Was dinner time, and it was burger, right, with your son.
Yeah.
uh, when I watch Ray Donovan, I have watched Casino, I have watched Godfather, Goodfellas, all of them. I mean Bugsy. And how much do you think they give the correct image of the gangsters, the mafia members? Do they
They,
do
they,
right
they,
by them?
people ask me, when was the downfall? And I don't like to say the word mafia.
What do you
Okay.
want to call? What do you want
Mafia,
to say?
like crime, La Cosa Nostra. What was the downfall? Was the movie The Godfather.
Hmm.
And why? Because it glorified our lives. Our life is not a glorious thing. Yeah, we had different perks than a lot of people. Never waited in line. A lot of restaurants we didn't have to pay, and things like that there. But it's not glorious. I do not condone it. I try to teach the young men and women not to get involved in a life because it's a thing. It's 24 hours a day. All right. You got to hustle in the life just like you do in regular business. And it's a bigger hustle because you wake up in the morning. What are you going to do today to make money? You got no paycheck coming on Friday, like like citizens of the world. Okay, you got to go out and make money every day. You got to have some sort of hustle, a scam, a robbery, whatever you're going to do every day. Okay, now you couple that with your being followed. In my case, I was being followed by the FBI and the Los Angeles Organized Crime Division, which they glamorize, and it's true. And the movie with Sean Penn called The Gangster Squad. It exists. It really does. They're there. And they're different than any other type of detective in Los Angeles. And they began with trying to rid the town of Italians like myself.
Are you all, I mean, Italians? You have to be Italians to be in the word that you don't like me to say, but I have to say the mafia. I mean, in Italian mafia, you have to be Italian, or non-Italians also can be in real mafia.
Non-Italians become what's called associates. They can be an associate, but they can never be a made member.
Hmm.
You got to be 100% Italian.
So your great grandfather was, can I say the word mafia? What do you want me to say? I'm just, I
No,
didn't.
my grandfather,
Okay.
who I never met. He died before I was born.
Hmm.
But he came over from Calabria,
From Italy, right? Not even in the States.
out in Italy, and as a made member of the Ndrangheta, which is the Calabrian Mafia. In Italy, you got several different groups. Everybody's well aware of the Sicilian Mafia. In Naples, you got the Camorra, all right? You got the Ndrangheta, and in northern Italy, you got different groups. Uh, and the Ndrangheta happens to be the largest and the most powerful group in the world.
Wow. And your father did not take that road, right? Because I read about him, and I know that you have amazing children today. And I wanted to ask you, when you became the fixer of Hollywood, I just watched Ray Donovan, okay, and I was like, what is this? And I said, I'm gonna ask Ori the question. Do you think that Italian mafia is a part of the support of making Hollywood what it is today, or Hollywood is a part of the mafia? Why are you laughing?
Well, you hit it pretty much on the head, okay? There's been a lot of gangs involved in Hollywood in a heavy manner. A lot of guys from Chicago were really, really engrossed in Hollywood. They were big. Yeah, they carried a lot of weight in different areas. Yes, we are involved in Hollywood. It's a funny thing. You know, they know who we are. It's like the government. Government needed us. They reach out to us for
I was
certain
going
things.
to ask that to you. I mean, seriously. I mean, they know that the gangsters, the mafias are there, and they don't do anything. They just told you. I mean, I remember you told me in the book. No, you didn't tell me. It was in the book. Like the FBI member said, a guy said, "I'm gonna get you one day. If you're gonna get him, just get him." I mean, I think there is some kind of confusion, and because they need you, so they need the mafia and not the other way around.
Right. Well, that there happened, uh, 1997.
Hmm.
That's the agent that I have most of the tapes on. In 1997, he said, I will see the day that you are chained, shackled, put on Con Air, and brought to Brooklyn. And I just sort of laughed at it. 1997. In 2008, 11 years later, he made that a reality. That goes to show you they have the time, the money, the manpower, and the equipment. They could sit back and wait, but they're going to get you. And this is why I try and I strongly urge any young people who are listening to this here, do not get involved. Go to college, find a trade, find something that you love, live a good life, and be a citizen. And you're going to end up having a lot more than guys like myself.
Um, I mean, I can never get enough from this conversation. I mean, it's amazing having you, Ori, over. Uh, I have to ask you, when you're just giving this advice to people, why do you think that they have to go in Hollywood to severe, extreme choices like having mafia to fix what they need to? Is it that complicated behind the curtains that we don't know about? Is it that
Well,
harsh?
it's not just Hollywood. In every walk of life, in your major corporations, it don't make a difference what business it is. Everybody has a problem. A problem will come up. They can't settle. They can't settle it in a court of law. Okay, so it needs to be settled. It needs to be resolved. And guys like me are the people who have the finesse, and the wherewithal to be able to correct those problems. People don't know how much of it is done on a daily basis, but we're there to help people. We help people. Yeah, we're gangsters. I want to go back and answer your question about movies, okay? And what's in a movie? Is it real? Yesterday we had a meeting,
Hmm.
two directors, a writer, and my son and myself. And sorry for the phone.
It's okay.
Uh, we had a meeting about what direction to go with the show about my book. And we had to come up with a way. And we feel it's going to be a TV series. So that's the direction we're going. And then it's a it's a heavyweight in town. And he's going to go talk to a few of the studios to get the take, but we're putting a team together. And
Congrats.
we decided that we want to have Ori Spado in the 90s, late 80s, 90s in Hollywood. Okay.
Mm.
And then my son came up with a unique way, which I can't tell it
Yeah, it's
about.
fine.
All right, because in Hollywood, especially today's, you got to have certain elements of people in it. You got to have a female, you got to have blacks and Spanish and so forth. So
What about Armenians?
my son came up with a unique way on something, and I think that's the route it's going to be. But so right now we're looking. We're having another meeting next week, and we're all supposed to come up with a list, a few names of who we want to play me, and who do we want to play the lead female in that.
Um, do you, when you go back in time, and let's say you jump back in time before prison, and we go to the old Ori, and we ask him, does he see himself like Jack the Ripper, or I don't know if you ever heard about him, Dr. Kevorkian, because Jack the Ripper in London, he was just killing hookers, and not, he's saying like, I'm just trying to uh, um, fix things. Or Dr. Kevorkian, he was just helping people who want to die. Does Ori in the past think of himself like that when he was the fixer of Hollywood?
Uh,
Or he was just doing what he had to do?
I did what I had to do. I have lived by a theory. You have to do what you have to do at certain periods of time during your life.
Hmm. And
Many
was Ray Donovan the series inspired by your character or Fixers of Hollywood? I mean,
no, that was made up by Hollywood, but somehow they got some tidbits of some of the things that I did, and they actually added in the movie TV show.
I knew it. But it was so, we loved it, but it was like, oh my God, does this really happen there? I mean, it's very interesting, but at the same time, in some ways, it's very,
Right. All right. Several years ago, I casted a film. Jack Gilardi, who wrote a blurb in my book about me.
hmm,
Okay. Jack was a very dear friend. He was a legendary Hollywood agent. And so people, they retained me to cast this film. It was a small budget film out of Philadelphia, filmed in North Carolina. But we cast it, and one of the guys that we had a part with, Hu Chaw. Hu Chaw plays John Boyd's son in Ray Donovan. He's the boxer. He's the black son of the white guy, and tremendous actor. John Voight's one of the best actors in Hollywood. I run into John all the time over here in drugstore. He's always over here at the Earth Cafe having breakfast. Uh, I kid with him. But anyways, Pooch lived in Connecticut, and he flew in because we had a big dinner at the Boa up here on Sunset Boulevard. And we're all sitting at this table, and I posted a picture someplace on my social media. Well, we're all at the table, and he walks in. The first person he asks for is Ori Spado. And I look up, I says, I'm Ori, Coach. And he walks over, he says, sir, he says, all my friends in Connecticut told me, all right, they send their love and respect to you. All right. And he says, it's an honor to meet you, sir. I said, thank you, Coach. And I introduced him to the director of the film, sits next to him. I was talking with Thorsten Kaye, another great actor, who was sitting on my right. And Thorsten and I are very good friends to this day. Then it dawned on me, I said, hey, Pooch. I said, I'm a little upset with you people. What's wrong, sir? I said, you guys use some of my things that I actually did in Hollywood, and you never hire me as a consultant. I said, so when you go back to shoot, you let those people know I'm pissed off at them.
If you were a consultant, would you just stop Ray Donovan from killing others in order to fix anything in Hollywood?
I was a consultant. I would have gotten paid. I would have sat there and watched it and advised.
But are you with the idea that just to put Ray Donovan just killing people to fix things in Hollywood? Are you with the idea?
Oh, look,
is it too severe?
Look at when you make a TV show or a movie, all right, the writers got to make it with the intent of what will the people in mid-America, what are the people in Kansas and Wisconsin, Michigan, what are they going to like? What are they going to watch? That's what's got to go through their head. What's mid-America? Will it air in mid-America? It's the same they have out there.
So as long as I didn't get the answer from just coming from another angle, does it go to that severe sometimes, not with Ori Spado, in general, does it go to a severe?
Put this on pause for 1 second. Put this on pause. Pause it.
Here you go. We're back.
We're back.
With Ori. And I was just saying, like, I was just talking that I was trying to make the conversation and the question like what they do in series, like they go to a point of no return to killing and making people disappear. I'm not talking about you or Spado only as the fixer of Hollywood, but in general, does this somehow is related to reality, and do these things really happen?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, I was just saying, how can I ask the question? I look at you now and I see this amazing person who has so much gratitude, who has a heart of gold, and with his respect and his kind approach to people, and who had in one of the rooms, he had a place for Celine Dion, right? And you didn't even know that she was Celine Dion. And you helped so many people and we connected. And I look at you and I see that this greatness in you and this power and this will to help others, not only in their daily lives, but to have a bright future. Is this some kind of redemption, or is it who you were from the beginning, or you learned to be who you are today?
I don't consider redemption. It's just who I am. It's just who I am. And, maybe it stems from my experience in the insurance business. I was a terrific salesman in the insurance business. I was extremely good at it. But I did it on the basis that I was helping people. And insurance is one of the most difficult things probably for most people to go off and try to sell, because you got to talk about death, you got to talk about illnesses, and you got to talk about old age. But all those things are going to happen to everybody. Everybody's going to get old, hopefully. Everybody's going to die someday. It's just part of what the universe is. So I was able to convey that there. And I think just, because I could sit down in your home over your dining room table with you, your husband, and talk about your future, what are your needs, and so forth. And I could design a plan based around that there. And that's no different than, I was just able to do that there and carry that there into my world, into the world of a gangster, which made me a little bit different. A lot of people see me sort of as a renegade. I mean, I had Jimmy Caci out here in Los Angeles. Jimmy was a very dear, he was like my brother. And I had Sonny Franchese in New York. And, they both were, in their own rights, were captains and underbosses of different organized crime families. And then, if you read my book, I knew a lot of the other bosses throughout the country that I had met. And
I love it.
things in that book, and every word in that book is the truth. And I tell the truth when I talk. And the reason why I tell the truth, I never have to think about what did I say. When people are lying, they got to think about what they say, and you're going to catch them in a lie.
Yeah. Well, it was so amazing to have you. I mean, I couldn't believe that I could just meet someone like you one day and have an interview. And this is amazing because you are changing so many lives. And I'm so honored to have you as a friend and to have you doing this interview with me so we can show a lot of people what it is to be who you are and to write a book, which is The Accidental Gangster. But is he really a gangster? Well, I can have my opinion, right? I can give my opinion. The way that I see your voice in the book, it's amazing because I can read between the lines that you are saying so many things and hiding to respect others. And it was like so touchy. And I was like, oh my God, he's not using anybody's bad name. And that's what I tried to do with my novel. I mean, I criticized myself, my character. I didn't say anything about anybody else because it's like, it's fine. That's it. That's their problem. But I want to change lives. I do it by criticizing myself, not them. And that's what I feel like I'm so connected to you. And I wanted to say that I don't know what they call you. They call you the fixer of Hollywood. They call you a mafia Italian mob member, a gangster. But I call you a man with the heart of gold. I call you my friend. I call you a great author. I call you an inspiration to everybody who sees shiny things, but they don't know how much they have to pay. It's amazing to learn from their mistakes, but it's more amazing to learn from others' mistakes. And people like you are here to give them that chance. Thank you, Ori Spado, for giving the world a chance to learn from your mistakes and being who you are now and forever. Honest and say the truth, courageous, and with a heart of gold. And that's what I call you. a man with a heart of gold.
Right. I thank you very much. You're not only a beautiful woman, you're a very intelligent woman. Should be an actress. But
I was an actress in Lebanon, Arab world. Thank you so much.
I would like to say something because you keep saying something. Read between the lines. When I wrote that book, and you hear my voice in it, I made sure of that. And there's a lot of things you have to read because I'm not saying a lot about it, but read between the lines. And I learned to read between the lines long, long time ago. Many people don't know what that reads. Well, if I read a newspaper, I read between the lines of what that reporter is really saying.
I was mesmerized because I was just looking for it. I say, I have 3 degrees and I had a TV show there. I say, in some ways, I might have my TV show here based on the experience that I have. And I was like looking at every little thing that you're writing about Hollywood. I say, he doesn't have anything. And as a journalist, I know how to catch, the points. I couldn't catch it. It's like everything is related to be the gratitude and thank yous and cherishing women in your life, your children, your friends, a lot of gratitude and beautiful lessons to teach people. And I was like, okay, then what? And then I saw that then a man with a heart of gold.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ori Spado, for being with me
It's an
today.
honor. I'd like to tell the people they can go to my website, www.theaccidentalgangster.com, to purchase my book, or you can go to Amazon. And for all my friends up there in Canada, my publishing company is there. You can go to Coastal, COASTALWEST.ca and purchase my book. Thank you very
I
much.
advise everyone to purchase this amazing book because it is the voice that you will never expect to hear from a real person with a heart of gold. Ori Spado, the accidental gangster. It's amazing, I'm telling you. And what do you have to say to our audience who are watching us, who are from Middle East and immigrants who are in Canada, in the States, Armenian, Lebanese? What do you have to say to them? A word.
Well, look, no matter where you come from in this world, we are all the same. We're all equal. And I'd like you all to keep a positive attitude. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Work hard. If you want to have a family, have a loving family because family is everything. But cherish your friends and never talk bad about other people because somebody might talk bad about you. And you'll always find the person who's talking bad about somebody else is the bad person. As Sonny Franchise told me many years ago, the person calling somebody a rat is the rat. So there's certain things that carry over from my world, from the gangster world, the legitimate world. But we are all the same. We're human beings. Remember, life is short. We're here for a limited amount of time. So do good, help people. And if you do that there, this entire world will be a much better place to live. And I will leave you folks on that there. Any of you would like to reach out to me, have questions or anything, you could DM me on social media, or you could write to me at the accidental gangster at Gmail, and I'd be more than happy to try to answer your questions. And if I could be any help and give you proper advice, I'm more than happy to. Thank you very much. Thank you, Natalie.
I'm honored to have you, and thank you for being the advocate of light. Thank you for being the advocate for courage and dignity.
Thank you.
Again, a man with a heart of gold. Thank you, Ori Spado. You have Ori Spado with us, guys, so don't forget to read his book. You can find it on Amazon, The Accidental Gangster. It's amazing. I'm saying, and let me tell you this. This is not a book. It's a lesson and inspiration. Thank you so much, Ori, and wish you the best of luck. Cannot wait to watch the TV series.
I can't wait to see the show.
Yeah, oh, we're gonna work on it.
Right.
Like God will.
Bye, honey.
God willing.
Take care.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.